I'm really like happy because I got my sexy back.
You got your sexy back.
It's been like 3 weeks since I got a haircut.
Oh, it looks nice.
Why are you making that face?
Because I didn't know that's where you're going with
I
that.
don't think that women will ever understand the boost that comes with a haircut. Look at my eyebrows.
Yeah, well, we get our eyebrows done too.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about like eyebrows. I'm talking about like as a man.
Mm-hmm.
When you walk into the barber shop one way and then come out looking like a whole different person. I took a picture before my haircut
Mm-hmm.
and then I took like pictures after. And it's like, I don't even feel like the same person.
I think a haircut definitely makes a difference to someone who's either cute or someone who's really ugly.
Even an ugly person that gets a good haircut.
Yeah.
You seen like those videos where it's like the guys that go to the barber and they look insane
Mm-hmm.
and the barber's like, well, let's do this, you have this type of hair, and the barber cuts them and then it's like, well, damn,
They're fine as hell.
yeah, that's how I feel when I
Okay.
come out the barber shop. And I always feel special. I know it was a good cut if he whips his phone out and starts taking pictures.
Oh, that's a good feeling.
It doesn't happen every time.
Oh.
It doesn't bother me, but like sometimes he'll take extra long to do my haircut, and then he'll pull his phone out. It's really weird though because we don't talk about it. Like we don't talk to each other, and then he'll
Well,
just
that's because he only speaks Spanish.
yeah, and then he'll pull his phone out and just start taking pictures. Not even, like he's never said, "Can I take some pics?" Like he just starts taking pictures.
Sometimes when us like girls get our nails done and we choose like a really cute, unique design, our nail tech would do that too. So it's kind of like a good feeling, like, oh dang, I know this turned out
You
good.
ever had a nail tech take a picture of your nails and you didn't think that they were cute?
No.
Okay.
Because I started going to a new nail tech because I went to like the normal like
Careful choice of words.
right. I just went to like a generic nail salon that you find in like a Publix plaza, and they never took pictures of people's nails there really. And then I went to like an actual girl who just works at like a different nail salon, and she does like it's like her own business, and
She got like a little sweet.
yeah, pretty much. Love her.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back after quite some time to another episode of
Slightly Unhinged. What it do, what it be, y'all?
It's been like 3 or 4 weeks. The circumstances have been interesting. It has not been 3 or 4 weeks since we have sat down to film.
No.
We have filmed at least twice,
Yeah.
and halfway through, our video stopped recording.
Both times.
So if you notice during this one, random cuts throughout every 10 minutes or so, it's because I'm getting up to check the video because some of the ones that we recorded were so good.
I know, we're a little traumatized. We need to get a camera eventually, but if you guys would like to sponsor us or subscribe or, help us out, we could provide more content for you.
In this economy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it is Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm.
We had so many.
Yeah, we had so many plans for Christmas. We have, a little bit of decorations here that...
For 3 weeks.
Yeah.
They've been here for 3 weeks.
Yeah, they haven't really left. But we had so many plans for Christmas and to get in the Christmas spirit, and technology has failed us twice.
Yeah. Last week, that wasn't the case. Last week,
It's okay. Some days you just don't feel like recording.
I wanted to hang out with Kayla last week, not doing the podcast. I was like, I feel like we haven't really hung out outside of doing the podcast. We didn't hang out. I just want to make that clear.
Oh, yeah, we did.
We didn't hang out. And to the point where, like, after the end of the day, I was like, do we have beef? Like, I thought there was something going on.
I thought that was funny.
And so when I saw her the next time we went to look at Christmas lights, I was like...
He opens my car door and he's like, do we have beef?
It wasn't like that. I was like,
no.
I was like, I just want to dead something before we go on our drive to look at Christmas lights. Do we have beef? And she was like, no, I was actually really happy that you said let's go. I'm like, okay, great, let's go.
Yeah, I had a really bad day at work that day. And so you texted me, you're like, let's go look at Christmas lights. I'm like, yes, let's do that.
It was a bust, though.
Yeah, but it was a good time. We got to listen to Nicki's album and Tate's album.
Yes.
So we both got to enjoy some music with a drive, no lights, pretty much. Yeah. You hungry?
You hungry? So yeah, it's Christmas Eve. Not when you're watching this, but it's Christmas Eve when we're recording it, and I love how it's also very late. You might notice like the lighting is different. It's almost 1:00.
It's 1 a.m.
But we were going to record this episode, come rain or shine. So we were like, we're gonna get cozy. It's late at night. This episode had to happen now, though. Like we were gonna make this episode happen, and I'll let Kayla tell you why the episode had to happen.
Yes. So I have alluded to this a couple of times in the podcast, but I think I just want to sit down and really discuss like what happened. And I really want to leave this here in this in this year and start the new year completely fresh on the podcast, in life. I don't want to talk about it in an angry state anymore. I want to have peace. So I requested that we do this and we record this. We put it out before the new year. That way I have something to look back on, and I could probably help encourage other people to start the new year the same.
I think that's great. I'm glad that you're going to lay it out and leave it. Because I've made comments to you before, like, don't let this become your story, like,
oh yeah,
don't let it become, I don't know if I used the words like don't let it become your personality. I feel like I might have said that to you.
I don't think so.
Regardless, I think it's important, like, I guess like this would be your final act of closure.
Yeah, for myself. Yeah.
Well, that's good. This is also not an invitation to reach out, for anybody wondering.
No, which I will talk to you about that actually.
Privately?
No, now.
Okay.
Eventually.
Well, let's dive in.
There.
In the words of Trey Songz. Ooh, I'm about to dive in. That wasn't too bad. No, guys, we got her to sing.
We harmonized a little bit. You more than me.
No, it takes two.
Next. Okay, so I don't even know how I want to start this. First, I would like to say to you, it's not my fault that your actions could possibly make you seem out to be like a bad person. I'm just discussing my story. I'm discussing what happened to me and my point of view, and that's that. So anything that you have to say, I don't want to hear it.
We're not trying to tear anybody down either.
No.
Like, this is definitely not a bash session.
No.
If anybody's feelings are hurt, I don't think he's gonna watch. So
no, but you never know. I'm not making this for him to watch. But
yeah, men don't deserve anything like that, except for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the best man in the world.
Yes, you are.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, I went through a breakup this year. Just like everybody else, my TikTok has been flooded with everyone going through it right now. I'm like, what is in the air? Which is crazy because on the opposite effect, everyone is also getting engaged, having kids.
Yeah.
It's either one.
It's the sex.
Or non-sex. It's either one or the other, like, end of the spectrum right now. And unfortunately, I got the bad end of the spectrum.
Well, the other end of the spectrum probably has sex too. People be fucking their exes.
Yeah, we won't be doing that. No. So I went through a breakup this year. We were together for literally a year. We broke up the same week of our anniversary, our 1-year anniversary. And it's because I caught him cheating. I found some messages that were very inappropriate.
Insert the boo.
I found some messages that were very, very inappropriate to multiple women, just a couple, No
big deal.
Not only did I find those messages, we were long distance, so I was at his place.
Long distance relationships will kill you.
Yeah. if both parties aren't involved. Like some people it works out for, but that's very few, I feel. But I was at his place, and I was stuck there after the breakup for 2 days, 2 whole days. And I'm talking, my flight was at night, so 2 full days.
I
And
tried to rescue her.
yeah, I was about to say, I remember the day that we did break up. I had called you while I was in the shower because he had asked to go on a drive to like talk about it. And you had actually advised me not to, not for the sake of that he would do something to me, because he's not that type of person. I'm only going to talk highly about him as a person because he always treated me with respect, with love, or so I thought. But it was never to the point where he would harm me or actually physically do something to me. I was never in danger or anything.
Yeah.
It was just, he just did something stupid that I think a lot of men do and they have no self-control over, and it just ends up, no, a lot of people literally don't have self-control, which is unfortunate.
But it's something that you should have.
No, you should.
Have, okay.
And a lot of them don't.
Great. Yeah.
Which is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I had called you in the shower and you were like, Kayla, I think you shouldn't go. I just think that both of you are in a bad place mentally right now because things are so hot that whenever he's driving, like anything could happen. Like it couldn't even be, we could be the safest drivers on the road or just basically arguing back and forth, him not paying attention and somebody hits us, or it just, anything could happen. So, and I feel like you and I, anytime that we get that gut feeling, or we just have to say it because
we have to trust it.
Yeah. So anytime that you and I talk about it, I take it to heart and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna trust you on that. So I called you in the shower and I was like, so this happened, and I want to hear your perspective as to what I was dumping onto you, since you knew I was so far. Mm-hmm. And you know me, I can become an emotional wreck, like just crying and stuff.
Well, so at the point that you called me in the shower, I think you had like texted me already, like saying like what was going on. Mm-hmm. And so at that point I was already like, I'm not emotional, y'all. And I didn't get emotional, but like I felt, maybe this is when you called me, I felt like hurt. You know, I was like, I felt helpless because you were gone.
Yeah. I was like hours, flights away. Like,
yeah. So it's not even like I could be like, oh, like I'll come get you.
Mm-hmm.
So as my best friend, like that was hard. And mm-hmm. I was telling my mom too, I'm like, Mom, like there's nothing I can do. And I feel so bad.
I'm trying not to cry this episode, but like.
It's going to happen. It's fine.
Know.
So,
because we never talked about this.
No.
Like, I just want everybody to know, like, since it happened about 3 months ago. I've taken a lot of time to like heal on my own, but I don't talk to you about this so I don't become a burden to you, because it's hard. Like, it is hard talking about the same thing over and over again. And when people are like, "Oh, just get over it," like time will heal. Like you don't know because you've never been through that before. Yeah. So I just don't talk to you about it. So this is my first time hearing your perspective.
Well, it hurt. And so when you called me and you were like telling me, mind you, like she was like whispering to me like in the shower, like telling me what was going on, and I literally said on the phone like, I'm really sorry. There's nothing I could do. Like, and you can't leave. Mm-hmm. The only thing that I could offer was to fly you home. And one, you didn't want me to fly you home.
No, because the tickets were like $500.
They were a little expensive.
They were, and then not only that, I don't want you to spend the money, and I didn't want to pay you back.
Well, I wouldn't have made you pay me back. Two, at the end of the day, like I told you, ignore the price. If you want to come home right now, you can come home right now. And I think you decided to stay because you didn't feel like unsafe, and there were other people there too.
Yeah.
I think that helped you a lot. But like, it was kind of unexpected.
Very. For me too.
It was kind of unexpected. And I just felt really helpless. Like I was like, there's nothing I can do. Not that like, even if you were here and something happened, that you would want me to like, well, let's, like I'm coming. But that option just wasn't there at all.
Yeah. I was literally stuck.
So I didn't ever have like a feeling like, what if something happens to her? What if I never had that feeling.
Mm-mm.
I wasn't worried about that happening at all. It was more so just like how uncomfortable you must have been for 2 more days.
Yeah.
To have to be around him.
Yeah. Again, never felt unsafe. He had a really, really like good career, like as far as his position. He had like a job in some sort of law enforcement that I won't go into detail.
He definitely had his emotions under control, like in that sense.
Yes.
In terms of like where some people can't handle their emotions and they get violent, either verbally or physically. He didn't have that issue.
Yeah, so that's why I denied the flight offer because it was so expensive. I was like, it's not worth it. I don't feel like he would ever harm me or do anything, even though I'm the one who did the breaking up. As someone who's receiving it, you never know how they're going to act. So I never got that vibe from him, even from when we were dating. He just always handled me with care, and he was always very gentle. So to see him, because we had a couple conversations the day that we broke up before I spoke with you, I was yelling, and he took everything. Like, he took every shot that I basically threw at him. So I ended up getting a lot of closure during those 2 days. A lot unpacked in 2 days. And I think I'm very grateful and fortunate because I feel like a lot of people, after they break up, they don't get that closure, which is why a lot of people end up going back because they're trying to get some understanding, trying to see like what happened, what went wrong. And boy, did I have like hours and hours of conversations with him. So,
I feel like up until the moment you got on the plane, you were getting like things that were like reassuring to you, like this is done.
So basically how I got to this point was, and how I'm going to go back to what you said about it was very unexpected. And you're like, well, so there was one conversation that I had with you, and I never talk about what's going on between me and my partner because then your family will have a perspective on them, and then it's just, I don't recommend that. But there was one thing that I had asked you because it was very, very suspicious to me, and I had a gut feeling. I'm like, I'm not comfortable with this. Like, something is bothering me. And you had asked me, and you said, well, have you talked to him about this? And I said, yes, I've actually talked to him multiple times that this thing that he's doing, it makes me a little bit uncomfortable. And I actually have you to thank because during that conversation, you had said to me, okay, well, how many times are you willing to have the same conversation with him? And I was like, you know what?
I think that was another thing we talked about when you guys like had broken up too. Because I think another one of the worries with you being there for 2 days was like, that's 2 days now to like, what if you change your mind?
Yeah.
He has 2 days to try to make up for.
And boy, did he. Like, I'm going to get into that too.
Yeah. I think we talked about it then too. Like I said the same thing, like, because you had mentioned like how he was saying that he just got comfortable. And I had said like, at any point you could be married to somebody for 30 years and it's going to get comfortable. That's no excuse. Like, what happens then? What happens when you build a life with somebody and they get comfortable and then they do something like that? So, yeah, that's how I feel about most things. Like, if you've talked about it before, you can talk about it as much as you want, but then you have to decide how much that is. Like, how much are you willing to talk about the same thing?
Yeah, and I appreciated that perspective because it wasn't biased. It wasn't you choosing my side. It wasn't you choosing his side. It was like, okay, Kayla, you need to ask yourself, how many times are you willing to have this conversation again if you're telling me you've had it multiple times? Simple like that. And I was like, you know what? Like, I think I've had enough. So I say that, and I had one more conversation after that. And I had told him, I said, I specifically said, this is what's bothering me. You keep doing it. And the only reason why I'm bringing it up is because I don't see a change. Like, I just see it keep happening. And the next time that it happens, I am going to choose myself. And fast forward, I was in the store with his friends. This is how it all went down. I was in the store with his friends and him. His mom had called, and his mom and I ended up developing a really good relationship. So sometimes we would talk on the phone without him. Like, she'd call me, I'd call her, we'd just be on the phone. And while she got off the phone with him, she was like, put Kayla on the phone. Normal, right? So I had finished talking to her, and she's like, oh, put him back on the phone. And I was like, oh, he had left with his friend. They went to the record area. Can I tell him to call you back once I meet back up with him? She's like, sure. She hangs up, and the phone is just there on the call log. And I see the name that has repeatedly come up, and I see missed calls. Mind you, a couple days prior to that, she had called him while I was there. And I had asked him, are you not answering her phone calls because I'm here with you? Otherwise, if you're telling me this is a coworker, it should be no problem for you to answer her phone call around me. Like, we have nothing to hide. I'm also not going to snoop through your phone, whatever. But because those things kept happening, now I'm in person, now I'm seeing it, and I'm not just having those feelings at home. Now I'm putting two and two together. Now it's making sense that you're not telling me the truth. There is more to this. So I'm not proud of this. This is the first time I've ever done it.
Curiosity killed the cat.
It did. And when you get that feeling, like, I can't explain it. There's no justification. Everyone deserves privacy on their phone. Okay, I get it. I just felt like I was being lied to so many times. And it's literally like, Kayla, her name is there. Like, are you stupid kind of thing. So I did what no one should do, and I don't recommend, like, this is the answer to your problems. And I did apologize for doing that. But I went to their messages, him and her, and boy, did I find, like, I didn't even need to scroll. That's how honestly sad it was. It was very fresh, and I screenshotted it, and I sent it to my phone because I knew he would probably delete the messages. And I also sent it to your phone just so in case it did go bad. I didn't know what I was walking. I've never been cheated on like that. Like, I don't know what I'm walking into. Just so if he deletes everything off my phone, you have it, and I want it. So, when I met back up with him, we were in a Walmart, and we were preparing to go to Zion National Park the next day, which is so beautiful, guys. Anything you could take from this story. Go take a trip to Utah and go to Zion National Park. Like, boy, I have found a love with hiking, which sucks that we live in Florida. I'm not going to go on a tangent about this, but Zion, we need to make a trip, okay? Anyways, so when we met back up, I told him what I saw. I showed him on his phone, and I said, just so you know, you and I are done. I still want to go to Zion National Park tomorrow, so we're not going to make, like, a big deal about this, but I found this on your phone.
I imagine that in that moment his heart just dropped to his ass. Because, like, he was expecting you to just come back after, they went off. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it's like...
Yeah, and I feel like I could have waited until his friends weren't there. But I was so amped up. Like, oh my God. Like, I don't know how to explain that feeling. Like, that heart drop.
I think that's courteous of you. But, like, he didn't wait to text the girl until you were gone.
That is
true. You guys
were
sitting together.
That is true.
You guys were in the same space.
Yeah, and I actually later found out that there was another girl while we were in bed next to each other, because it literally was stamped on a Monday at 9:30 a.m. So I'm like, either I was sleeping or I had just woken up. He's texting these girls. He's like, oh, baby, it's swiping up on her story with the fire emojis and the hard eyes, calling her my baby girl, telling her he's going to call her in a little bit. Like, I'm like, oh. This is the same coworker that we talked about back in January. Like, that's a little sus, and you told me nothing was going on. And coming to find out, his friends that were there ended up hearing all of what happened, and I feel very bad. But they had found out about that, and they had asked him, like, oh, how many girls do you call baby girl? Because it's true. You got to call your friends out on some things too.
Mm-hmm.
And not to say that he's not a great guy and all, but you did something stupid and you're lying about it to me. And then now I caught you. Now you're telling me the truth. And you want to know what's so crazy? I had asked him. So fast forward to Zion National Park. We're talking, literally, we get there at like 10 a.m. And we're talking from 10 to like 8 p.m. And I had asked him, I was like, so were you going to tell me about any of these girls? Stupid question, because I knew the answer. And he told me no, I was just going to block them. So I'm like, so why do you expect me to give you another chance if you were never going to be honest with me and just block them as if this never happened? Like this little secret for you, you're going to hold down to your grave, and I'm just never going to know. Like that to me is like the ultimate disrespect.
That's usually how it goes.
Like if you were to ever do that to someone, obviously like I'm still going to be your friend, but I'm going to call you out on it. I'm not going to respect your decision in doing whatever you did to that person. You cheat on them, like I'm not going to respect your decision. I'm still going to be your friend, and I'm going to like, why'd you make that face?
Me personally, I like to surround myself with people that like, a mistake is a mistake. That's a different story.
But cheating to me is not a mistake. Is it to you?
I think in some instances people have a lapse of judgment.
But to me, you have every intention in the middle of the act, whether it's a text message or sexual. You have intentions on what you want to do right there in the moment. You have no disregard for anybody else's feelings.
I agree. But I'm saying like in the sense of like if it's my friend, like my friend did something, you have like a lapse in judgment. This is like, it's not a behavior. It's not a behavior.
Mm-hmm.
It's an event, you know? So like if I had a friend and that was their behavior,
right,
like that was something that they just did all the time
mm-hmm.
and tried to justify it, we probably wouldn't be friends. So I'm saying in that instance, if you're using that as an example, if it was a one-time thing, yeah, I'm going to call you out and be like, yo, you were stupid, you know? But if it's a behavior,
right,
we're not going to, I don't want to be friends with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's not someone, because if you could do something like that continuously to other people, you could do anything to me.
That's exactly what his friend was saying. And I was like, it's so sad because maybe it was like a lapse of judgment. And maybe he got carried away. And I think that with the position that he got, because it's an amazing job, the position that he got, he was alone, so far away. We were long distance, like a lot of factors. Maybe like he did feel lonely, even with having, a lot of good things. Like to me, it just showed like what he was capable of doing to me. If not, that was the start of it. And he kept saying like, oh, I never physically stepped out on you. And I'm like, for me, it doesn't even need to take that for you to send very, very sexual messages to other women. Like that to me is this pretty much the same thing. You just physically didn't do it. Maybe you were touching yourself in bed, or like, I don't know if that's too far, but like, how do I know? Like, I don't know what kind of intentions are those while you and I are in a relationship to send those type of messages to another woman that you just met. That's a coworker. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I let my partner do whatever they want, so I can see what they would rather do. So if you want to talk to this person, you want to put yourself in a position to possibly hurt me or cross a boundary, I'm going to let you do that. I'm not going to stop you, because I'd much rather see what you rather do than beg you to act right for me. For me, I feel like by you having so many women coming in and out of your phone, you don't have like a standard of who has access to you. And I don't like that. Like, I don't want to be with somebody
who's for everybody.
For everybody, because then what's left for me? And that's one of the big points that I said during the breakup was, what is the difference between me and these other women? Only one thing. And that something is like very important to me,
Mm-hmm.
So for that to be the only difference between me and them, I'm like, you don't respect me. You have your needs, and that's it. Like, you don't put yourself in my shoes and see how your actions would affect me at all. And I had to realize, like, you know what? Someone who truly loves you will never put themselves in a position to hurt you and put themselves on the line in front of, like, all of these distractions and temptations. Like, to me, those aren't temptations. Like, I feel like a temptation is something that you want, right? But you just can't have. Or am I wrong?
You can have things that you're tempted by.
Well, right, but I'm saying, like, okay, you and I are in a relationship and like a beautiful woman walks by, oh, she's tempting. Like, you want, like, you know what I'm saying? That's something that you want, but you're only stopping yourself because you're in a relationship.
I see what you're saying, but
I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. I think it's coming off.
no, you are. But like a temptation, you could want and have some of them. Like sweets are a temptation. Nothing's stopping me from having them.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing really is stopping me. Like, should I have it? No. Is it healthy? No. But is anything actually stopping me? No. So same thing, like in a relationship. But I feel like, how people say in a relation, like it's natural to look at other people, to look at other people. Obviously, you could see someone and be like, oh, that's an attractive person. I think that the desire to want anything from someone else while you're with someone is not normal.
I would agree to that. And that's a point that I brought up. If I'm going to be honest, like, I was so in love with this man. And, oh no. He literally was the love of my life. When I tell you, I saw no one else. Yeah, people are attractive. But to me, I couldn't even think about doing something with somebody else because he literally was my entire world.
I feel like it kind of makes you think, like, if you are looking to other people, then there's a need that I'm not fulfilling.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like one of two things. Either I can't fulfill the need, or I don't know that I'm not fulfilling the need.
Yeah, and I feel like we talked about this in an episode before where I like to do my monthly check-ins and I like to, see how things are, see if things need to be worked on. I do it with all my friends, my relationships, and I told him, I said, I would always check in with you and ask you, like, is everything good? Like, is there anything that we need to work on? Like, is there anything that you feel like you're needing right now that I still haven't given to you? And he would always say, like, no, we're good. And I'm like, I know I am not picture perfect. Like, I know we all have flaws. I know I can be annoying. Maybe you can say these monthly check-ins, like, are annoying, like, or you're not feeling this side of me and I feel like you need to be more emotional with me. Or, you know what, I feel like we need to talk more because we're long distance. And maybe you can call me more and, like, make me feel wanted, like something. And I never got that. So I didn't know how to work on the areas that he was needing because I just never knew. So I would agree to that.
So, like, where there were faults, like, in the end, what was the fault? Do you feel like you were already, if we're saying like it was because a need wasn't met in some area or aspect, do you feel like the area where the fault was that you were in fact meeting the needs there? So it's kind of like, I'm asking, like, you're kind of like, well, it doesn't make sense that would happen because I was, like,
right.
Like if he had grown an emotional attachment to somebody else,
yes,
because you weren't emotional with him,
mm-hmm.
then that would make sense. So where the fault was, do you feel like you were
at fault?
No. Do you feel like in that area of need that you were filling the need?
Yes, I genuinely feel like I was. I feel like we were literally the same person. Like,
disclaimer, if you weren't filling the need, that's not an excuse.
Oh, right.
Right.
Regardless.
Yeah.
No, I think it was still a valid question. I do think that I was. And I think that he was with me as well. Like, I was genuinely happy. Like, I thought we were very, very happy. So when, something like that happens, I'm like, I don't understand why you're still seeking out more. Like, it's like people who are just never satisfied with things. Like, they could be the richest people in the world. They literally have everything, but they still want more. And I don't get it, because you have a relationship, you have literally one of like the best careers I think anybody could have at such a young age. Like, he's really set for life, you know? And you have such a supportive family. Like, his family literally reminds me of mine. Like, they are so welcoming, they're so tight, like we got along so well. And so I looked at them as my family too. I'm like, you have all of these qualities and like all of the support, like what are you still searching for? And I don't think he knows. He kept telling me, like, I don't know what happened. Like, I was loyal to you from the beginning, and then I got to this location, and like, I don't know what happened. And I'm like, I don't know how to justify that. I don't think there is a justification. What was your question?
You answered it. You filled the need.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I feel like I did my best, at least. Like, I tried to cater to his needs and, really fulfill a lot. Since we were long distance, and long distance, you have to try, like, literally twice as hard. And when everything went down, he kept saying like he was sorry and apologizing. And like, you know what? A lot of people try to put the blame, like, well, you never do this. That's why I went and got it somewhere else. Or they just always put the blame and never take accountability.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing that I say that he really did. He did man up. He told the people in his life the truth. At least that's what I've been told. And he like was held accountable. He held himself accountable for it. But to me, there's certain disrespect that an apology or an explanation just can't fix. So when I got home on my plane, I actually was just leaving the tarmac, basically. I was getting text messages from certain people that were very close to him, and basically saying like not to be explosive and making such like a rash decision, talk it out, he's young, he made a mistake. And to me, one, we're all young, we're all learning how to be in a relationship. Like, we're not forced to get married. This isn't an arranged marriage. He doesn't have to be with me, if he chooses to go and talk to all of those other women, like, then so be it. I'm going to remove myself from the situation because I don't want any part of it anymore if other people are going to be involved. So when I'm getting all these text messages, I'm like, bro, like, I don't know how to respond because I'm very emotional right now because like I'm a little traumatized because I'm stuck here. Like, I've never gone through a situation like this before. He's still trying to hold my hand and try to talk to me, which, let me talk about that real quick, because I 100% understand why people end up going back to their ex, especially when they live together. So when I was there, we were going through the breakup, we were arguing, we were just talking things out. He kept trying to hold my hand and like look me in my eyes and be like, Kayla, like, I'm sorry. And he said, like, I'm owning up to this. Like, I want to work on this with you. And part of me, because I had so much love for him, like, wanted to believe him. But I'm very strong-minded, and I prayed. I said, I pray about this to all my friends. God, if this person is not to be in my life, like, just please remove them. Like, I don't want to be done dirty. Like, I just don't want to get hurt. So clearly you're still in my life. I've made that prayer about you, if I'm going to be honest. I made them about everybody. And I prayed. I said, God, please allow something so unforgivable to me to happen if he's not meant for me, even though I want him to be so bad. Like, everyone can see we were so happy. Like, I genuinely feel like our families would have gotten along if we all would have been able to meet. Like, I thought we were fulfilling each other's needs. Like, if he didn't do what he did, we would still be together right now. Like, we were healthy. So during the breakup, like, while he was holding my hands and stuff, like, part of me wanted to go back and be like, you know what, like, I do want to work this out. And like at times I did. I'm like, okay, well, it's gonna take like you moving mountains for you to like do something to make me change my mind. Like, because I wanted it to work so bad. And because I was stuck there for 2 days, I basically got to feel what it's like to take him back after he did what he did. Even though we were arguing and we didn't really make up in any way, I still got to feel what it would be like looking at him in the eyes while he's still trying to hold my hands.
And find that you can't.
I can't. And it's so crazy to say that, like, I looked at him in the eyes and I saw a completely different person. I had love for him, like, still. I instantly fell out of love with him. Like, I know that kind of doesn't make sense because love just doesn't, like...
Well, I think it just speaks to, like, knowing your...
boundaries.
No, like, and knowing your worth, too.
Yeah.
And I think that from the very beginning, like, you always said, like, you would choose you.
Yeah.
Every single time, if it came down to it, that you would pick you. And I think a lot of people, that's why, like, if anybody was sitting here and said, like, oh, it doesn't happen that fast, that's because you won't choose yourself.
Yeah.
But it's like you love yourself so much that someone doing that to you is like, you're offended for you. Like, how the fuck could you do that to me? And it's like, anybody, it's like as if someone you were in love with disrespected your mother.
Yeah.
Like, and we're not talking like, when you're married and you're like the in-laws and they're like bickering. We're talking like real disrespect, like someone disrespected your mother.
Yeah.
You would never look at if I disrespected your mother right now, you wouldn't look at me the same.
No.
So I can understand what you're saying. Like, it's like, this is somebody that I love, that I have love for. However,
Yeah. And we talked about it. Like, there was one of his fears. He's like, this is just my biggest fear in a relationship. And this would really be my deal breaker and would cause me to end things with anybody. And I told him mine. Like, we were very, very upfront. And I said, mine is cheating. Like, that is the number one thing I can't work on afterwards. Like, that personal, it's different in every situation. If there's kids involved, if there's a house involved, if there's like other factors that people like tie into it.
You have nothing to lose.
I have nothing to lose except my sanity.
Yeah.
And I feel like those 2 days, I was literally hot and cold because I'm going back and forth. Like, my brain is fighting my heart, and then what I'm saying is like what I'm truly feeling. And I'm like, shoot, I shouldn't have said that, but it's true. And sometimes the truth hurts. Like, you're being an ass right now. And I was going back and forth, back and forth. I truly get why people end up going back to their ex after they cheated on them. But what I realized is, okay, so we get back together. Now I don't trust you. Yes, you're doing things
I feel like if you don't have trust, you don't have anything.
No, you don't. And if I don't, now I don't trust you. Now I'm worried. Okay, you said this was your coworker the last time. Are you doing it to me again? And I'm just going to take you back.
You know how to hide it now.
You know how to hide it better now. And it's so crazy because somebody in his life was on a phone call with me. And they told me, they said, name all the good qualities you love about him. And I was like, okay, it's a little bit weird, but I'll play along, I guess. Like, so I did. And they were like, now does the good outweigh the bad? No, heifer. Like, he literally did the one thing. Thing. I said, this is my only deal breaker. My only deal. Everything else I can work on. You were literally unfaithful to me. Not only to one person, which I could get. You build an emotional connection with somebody. I could respect that much more. And you be honest with me. You'd be like, I'm so sorry this happened.
We spend a lot of time together because of work.
Even because the work in the field that he was doing, there's a little bit of things that he would tell me that he would be like, yo, like this happened at work. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. So if you have a relationship with somebody over there, you kind of trauma bond a little bit. They can relate to that. And I completely get it. But it wasn't just one person. And so that's where I lost the respect even more, because I'm like, okay, so he did say it was with one person, like, she was understanding what I was going through. I just felt like you wouldn't. And I'm like, you never gave me the opportunity to.
Yeah.
So that's not fair to say.
You decided for me that I wouldn't be able to handle it.
Exactly. So I don't think that's valid, because that's not fair to say. But so that conversation like really upset me, because the good did not The good did not outweigh the bad because you did the one thing I told you that would really hurt me. And so if you could do that, like, then I don't want to be with you because no one that loves somebody so much would literally bounce around the line or even cross that boundary to really hurt them, you know? And if I did what he told me his biggest fear in a relationship was, and I told him I would 100% expect you to break up with me because I have no respect for you then. And I felt like after all these conversations that I had with him about like the same topic, I was like, okay, so I feel like I'm not being heard. I feel like you're kind of disrespecting me and you're just kind of going with the, like, I'm just here. Like, I'm just basically like a piece of candy, arm candy for you. And anything that I say, you have no regard for because you want to do what makes you feel good, not, you know, in respect to me. But
This is the bullshit I was talking about, everyone, where the phone just stops. But this is what happens when you're
low budget.
low budget.
Yeah.
So you might notice the video looks a little different now. Don't ask any questions. The conversation's really good, so.
Yeah, the lighting may be a little bit off.
It's because it's late. What time is it now?
2:30.
2:30. And you're going to be like, you guys started at 1. This has not been an hour and a half long. We may have stopped for half an hour to... I was trying to convince Kayla to tell me what she got me for Christmas, but...
For literally like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
After we end this, he probably still might.
No, I'm going home.
Okay. But basically, I had to learn, you know, you don't always have to tell your side of the story. It's okay for you to be a villain in their minds. I feel like no matter what,
People are going to think what they want to think.
yeah, the truth will always come out as long as like you stay you. Like, I feel like it's okay. But I feel like people will turn you into whatever they need to fit their narrative of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like I said, as long as you know the truth will always come out. Karma will always come around. And yes, I'm telling my side of the story, which is a little bit like backwards, but I just feel like we went to a restaurant where we heard some girls talking about this, and I just feel like a lot of people unfortunately can relate to it, guys and girls, because people are just, you know, grimy.
I mean, yeah, and it's not even like you can say, like, you picked them because some people you just really don't know. You don't expect it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but I guess, too, like, knowing what was going to happen, like what ended up happening, would you go back and still, like, do it again? Would you pursue it? Because I feel like, you know, like,
yes.
if everybody was just like, well, this person might do me wrong, so I'm just never going to be with anybody again, like...
No. Can I say, like, despite how hurt, oh my gosh, the snowman is fallen.
Leave him alone.
This is the candid that we're talking about. But despite getting hurt the way that I did, I am extremely grateful because I have always felt like my intuition was just all over the place and never to trust myself. And this has really taught me, like, you know what? I will always be at bat and at war for myself if I just trust the feeling that I'm feeling. If I'm uncomfortable, if I prayed certain things or things are coming to light, not to be naive in those situations. But I also found out, like, I am pretty strong and I know how to not ignore boundaries that are being crossed a lot sooner. Maybe it'll only take one conversation or maybe none, and not like 6 or 7 conversations.
I think that's just something that, like, you just have to learn.
Yeah.
So now you're like, okay, well, even if I have the conversation 6 times, it doesn't matter. So now I'm just going to have it once.
Yeah.
Because it's not like they just need to hear it again.
Yeah.
They heard it plenty and it still happened. So
I broke no contact.
oh, wow. I can see
What can you see?
Okay, I just want to say, and I'm going to say this because we had a brief intermission before this, and she's like, "Oh, I have to say this," and I was like, "Oh, what are you going to say?" She said, "You'll see." Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, technically, it wasn't me. So everyone on that side has been blocked. I feel like after the breakup, I was just feeling overwhelmed with everyone trying to reach out to me and making sure I was okay and giving me their opinions on what they think I should do with my information. Um, so everyone was blocked except for him because I felt like him and I were the only ones that needed to work on things, you know? Why is family and friends getting involved? Like, it's not necessary. So he reached out to me a couple weeks ago.
Weeks?
I would say like right after I got back from New York. And I got back from New York in the beginning of December. First week of December actually. Yeah, so he reached out to me.
Do you hate me?
No, I just wanted to talk to you about this here.
Okay.
I haven't told anybody. Like, I
Mhm.
literally told 2 people.
That's people.
Yeah.
Was it your mother and your sister?
Um, yeah. Actually, it was 3 then. I also talked about it with April.
I'll take it.
That was it.
I'll accept that.
So, he reached out to me and basically asked if we could meet in person to talk.
Did you?
No.
That I would say cut the cameras. Cut the cameras dead ass. Not because I was gonna like be upset with her, but okay.
I did say yes though.
Okay.
And you know me, my relationship with my Lord. I was like, Savior, I need help right now. So, like I was saying, I feel like I'm trying to find peace in myself. I have closure. I got a lot of closure that weekend, but I have a lot of hatred and anger in my heart, and it's weighing heavy. So I was just praying, like, God, like, what can I do to help me feel more peace, to help me, not feel so angry about every single time I talk about this, And then he texted me, and I was like, okay, who is it? Who's doing this work right now? So I said yes because I didn't want to just close the opportunity and close the door. If this is really God telling me, like, if you release this, this is gonna be peaceful for you.
The devil hears your prayers too.
I know, and I learned that.
So you said yes.
I did say yes.
And
it went on for a couple of days. Us texting because like I just been so busy. I haven't really been responding to a lot of people, so I responded when I could. We were actually supposed to meet yesterday, the 22nd. He was going to fly down to be with his family for the holidays and said that he wants to meet in person and he could come on Friday. So he was going to come yesterday. And I've been praying to God. And I was like, God, if you feel like I would get even more hurt during this conversation and this is not from you, then please make it so impossible for him to come here to Orlando because I'm not going to where he lives, like his hometown. I will not travel. I refused. So I literally prayed. I said, God, if he cannot make it here to Orlando, if he really wants to meet in person like he did to ask me to be his girlfriend, then I'm not going. He didn't respond because he had asked if we could meet for lunch on yesterday. And I had said yes. And I said, but where did you want to meet? He didn't respond for like 5 days. And so at that time, this may be like my naive self. I'm like, okay, so like when I say like make an abundantly clear, sign, I'm confused because there's no answer. It's not yes or no. And I specifically
no answer
asked,
is an answer.
No, but listen, because I specifically asked if he can't come to Orlando, it's a no. If he can, then I'm taking this as a sign. But there was no answers. I was like, is it yes or no? Like right now, it's still a maybe. But obviously. Then I get a text and basically family emergency stated that he couldn't come if we could postpone it to January. And that to me was like, okay, no, I don't want to take this into the new year.
So you said...
Do you want me to read it to you?
No, you can't.
Oh, yeah. Basically, I said my condolences to the family situation, because genuinely, like, I'm not an ass. Like, that was my family too at one point, you know? And to the extent of the situation, it was very severe. And that's not something that you lie about. So that would be very bad on his part. Like, that'll be karma for him later on. But I was like, my condolences to the situation. As for us meeting, I think that we should take this new year to really move on. Basically, that I hope he understands. And he left me on red and never responded. And I've been at peace ever since. Like, I didn't want a conversation. I didn't want a response, really. And I'm sorry for not telling you.
Did you find yourself, when you said, like, where do you want to meet? Did you find yourself excited to go?
No, I actually found myself very anxious.
Why would you do that to yourself then?
I'm
really glad. Shout out to God.
No, I know.
Because I don't think anything good would have come out of it.
That's what a lot of people said, and that's why I didn't tell you, because I wanted it to be not from people's opinions.
I would have told you, like, yeah, if you want to go, then go.
Yeah, I know.
But I don't think anything good would have come out of it. I think that you would have sat down and had closure and had peace and lost all the hatred. But I think that all this time that you've spent, like, getting yourself okay would have been not completely washed away, but just gone.
No, I know.
Because you would have been sitting there across from the table, across from him, sitting at the table, in public, at lunch. What is there to talk about?
I know.
Especially if you've already made the decision that nothing was, like, you were done. Like, I just don't see what you thought that would have brought. I think it just
so much happened after the breakup that it got so messy that I was like, I need to explain myself. I don't know why I felt like I did.
Yeah, make sure you make that clear. You felt like you needed to.
Yeah.
You did not need to.
I know.
Say it.
I did not need to.
You did not need to.
You're right. So yeah, that's what I was holding from you.
I really thought you said that you went. Like, if you would have said, I did.
Will you still be my friend?
Of course. I wouldn't have been upset that I would have just been like, you went and I didn't, like, know that you were going. You know, more so like,
I didn't want anybody to know.
I can understand why. Yeah, but I'm so glad that you didn't go.
I know. I'm glad, though, because when I tell you, that man upstairs really has it out for me. Because, like, sometimes, yes, I could be naive. And especially with him, like, I would literally in love with that man. So maybe I didn't think clearly. After I said yes, I was like, ooh, I don't know if I should have done that. But I did. So now, God, I'm putting it in your hands. Help a sister out.
Help a brother out, because you just stressed me out.
Well, I thought it was going to be good for me. I didn't know how else to feel with that peace and to get peace and feel that hatred, because for 3 months I've been trying. I've been doing a lot of shadow work. I literally did an exercise. I bought a shadow work book. I did one exercise, and it tells you to put a chair in front of you and you talk to that chair as if it's that person. I talked to the chair for 3 hours, bawling my eyes out. I don't think I've ever cried that hard, as if I literally lost a family member.
What the hell is shadow work?
It's like a book I'm gonna show you later. I don't really know. I found it to, like, help, like, do some exercises.
I don't like that name. It sounds like demonic. I know it's not, but, like,
I literally haven't opened it since. I did that one exercise, closed it, and I'm traumatized from that experience. Now I'm like
eager to get out of your house. I don't know why.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just being silly. So with that being said, this is probably going to be the last podcast episode of the year. Mm-hmm. So first things first, I want to say that originally we were uploading our episodes every Wednesday. So we've found that that's really unrealistic.
We're just really busy.
We're really busy. And, you know, even it is the holiday season, which I think is contributing. But even outside of that, like we both work full time.
We only hang out to do the podcast. Like, I
Right.
never really see you unless we're just sitting here, which is not a bad thing because, like, we're just sitting and talking and stuff.
Yeah.
But we're not doing things anymore like we used to.
Yeah. And we're both gearing up to like prepare for higher educate, like advancing our education, advancing our careers. So, nonetheless, the podcast is really fun. We're not. This sounds like I'm like this last episode ever.
Goodbye.
So we're just like not committing to uploading every single Wednesday. We're gonna film when we feel like filming, which is most of the time, and then upload when we feel like uploading. We do have plans to like for other videos to continue uploading. So I just want to say that. But what are you most looking forward to next year?
I think focusing on school. I've been out for about a year and a half now. I really needed a mental break after undergraduate because I was just stressed all the time. And now I feel like I have that drive to go back and motivated to go back. So I'm really going to focus on going back to school. How about you? Música.
My voice just cracked. I'm glad you talked because it covered it up. I hope. I'll just cut it out.
That's not fair. I don't get cutouts.
You can edit the video.
I don't have a MacBook. Someone want to buy me a MacBook, I can edit it.
We need a camera. She needs a MacBook. She needs a man.
We're low budget. I don't need a man.
Anyway, I'm most looking forward to music next year. I just have so many plans I need to tell you about.
More?
Yeah, like aside from like what you've heard.
Okay.
I have like tons of plans. I plan on being very collaborative next year, not in terms of music.
Okay.
Like in terms of the art around it. So like visuals, like photography, videos, stuff like that. I plan on being collaborative. So yeah, I'm like really eager, and like I've even in the last couple weeks tell the people.
Yes, I feel like you have this fire inside you right now.
The fire's coming back in my soul.
I feel like yes, you have that fire right now, and the stuff that you're making, I feel like
I've never made before.
Yeah.
Let me tell you all, the music that I'm making right now is nothing like the music I've ever made before.
Yeah.
And this is like trial run still. Like, so it's incredible to me, but this is trial run. Like, I plan on experimenting so much and getting the opinion of people that actually like know what they're talking about. And so like, I'm just really excited for that. The visuals over everything, guys. Like, I'm just so, 1 second. Because like, I get so like I love to make the music. I love to record it, whatever. The one thing that I haven't been able to do is like execute visuals as they are in my head, just because like it's expensive. Like, I've got a very insane imagination. I'm thinking like A-list celebrity level visuals, and if I can't have that, I'm not doing anything at all. That's really the reason why I don't put music out, is because I just want it to be quality.
I know, and I get so mad because it's good.
Boo-hoo. It's not about you. That was mean.
Say you're sorry.
I don't care. So
I'm quitting.
next year, I plan to like make it work by any means, because I want to put the music out, and I know that I'm only going to put the music out if I have the visuals to go with it. And so by any means, I'm going to get them done.
Okay.
I'm going to be different. I'm going to step out of my comfort zone. I'm going to make a statement. So
I'm excited.
I'm excited. Well, whenever this video comes out, we hope that you guys have a Merry Christmas. We hope that if you celebrate Hanukkah, that you had a happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa,
Happy New Year's,
happy Three Kings Day, happy birthday. If you have a birthday,
yeah,
it's your birthday. Throw your hands in the air. It's your birthday. And you know we don't give a fuck because it's your birthday. You should be throwing that back in the first. Yeah. Stream Pink Friday too.
Stream Think Later. Take a cray.
And stay out of people's business. Eat lots of food. And
drink lots of liquor.
Coquito. Have you ever had that?
Coquito?
Yeah.
Yes.
You had your first glass of wine when you were 30.
Okay, first of all, yes. I actually had coquito Since I was young, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the only drink.
Oh.
Oh.
It's like Italians. They drink wine.
Yeah.
Like as kids.
Mm.
Some hard liquor as well. My dad used to put beer on the pacifier.
I know some people give beer to their dogs. Anyways.
All right, guys. For real. Again, so sorry for being MIA. And so sorry for the constant change in the appearance. It's going to get fixed. Bear with us. It is currently... Does that say 2:52? Oh my God,
Yeah,
it's currently 3 a.m. So clearly, though we are unhinged...
We are only slightly. But first, wait. I would like to say, if anyone wants to start a conversation or a discussion about if you're going through anything or some tips and tricks about, what's helping you. I've been journaling. I've been listening to worship music. That's been helping me. I definitely want to start working out in the new year, and I feel like the revenge body is just going to come.
I have to. I'm going to see Nicki Minaj in March.
Oh. I'm going to cruise in June.
And I'm going to be on the floor by the stage.
Close your mic.
Mic drop. I'm going to be on the floor by the stage. She may see me.
Yeah.
I've got to be in tip-top
You have
shape.
to have an ass as big as hers.
That's done. I already have an ass as
You
big
don't
as
have
hers.
one.
Also, I think maybe starting next year, we might be ready for a guest or two. So
Yes.
if you, and if you know where we live,
Or if we've already been in contact.
Ow.
What the hell is that?
It's a wolf.
Who's a wolf?
Juliana's wolf. Wolf Black. No?
Oh.
Okay. If we've already been in contact or you're interested in joining the podcast, let us know, guys. We can't guarantee that everybody's going to be on.
No.
We're barely on. So, but yeah.
And
okay.
we record at my house. My dogs don't like a lot of people, so.
Especially men. You're out of the question.
Yeah.
We don't like men either. So, we're rambling because it's 3:00 in the morning.
I'm tired.
It's Christmas Eve now. When we started the video, it was Christmas Eve, and now it's Christmas Eve.
Well, some people give gifts on Christmas Eve. Do you want to just do it?
Piss
Just
me
kidding.
off. All right, guys. Much love. Never forget to tell yourself in the mirror every morning when you wake up that though we are unhinged,
We are only slightly.
Goodbye.
Bye, y'all.